Luna, stop being racist. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Wood. I hope you're all having a good morning, and I'm glad you chose to jump up on my wood. It's going to be a good, pounding, throbbing, pulsating, with a very happy ending. I hope so, anyways. But I hope y'all having a good day. Couple of announcements. Tomorrow on the show, we've got Ben from Drunken Peasants, Captain Karish, and Anna Hedda Hearts. And also, just a little update on Patreon. We're getting there, folks, to that $1,000 Patreon a month. We're getting close. We're at $598 now. We're really supposed to be at 600. I don't know how that worked out, but we're at $598. So we're very close, getting closer and closer to getting $1,000 a month. And once we get there, 24 hours wood. We're going to start like on a regular time and then end to the next day. So it's with a lot of guests and stuff. So it should be fun. As always, at the end of the show, please have some questions for the panel, and we'll answer them if we don't think they're completely fucking retarded. And if you tip through the show, I will I'll read your messages at the end of the show. Let's introduce who we got here today. Well, we're joined today by a little Milwaukee homosexual.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty homosexual.
You know you're doing the vape wrong. You don't stick the vape to your chin. You stick it in your mouth.
Yeah, vape, bruh.
Oh, it's not? What is it? Oh,
it's a hookah.
A hookah. Yeah. Oh.
Classy, yeah.
You know, I've been to a hookah bar before. They're very cool.
Yeah, hookah bars are great.
I've
been to every hookah bar. I've been to every hookah bar in the state.
Really?
You could tell he's classy because he's got that towel over his microphone as a microphone.
You know they've got they got kratom bars now.
Really?
I did not know that.
They do. They have kratom bars now where they serve up kratom drinks and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I guess they serve up kratom tea and stuff like I make. But anyways, we're also joined by the lovely, beautiful Luna. How you doing?
All right. What's up?
You need to read that book more. And we're also joined by the awesome, smart, big dick scientist, Landon. Noll. What's happening?
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your time zone and latitude. And hello there, great Pimpmunk.
I am great.
You are.
I am.
You just need someone to remind you about that every once in a while.
That's okay. I do it myself all the time. I just look in the mirror. You are great. The first thing I want to get to, we're just going to kick this off with this conversation because I read this morning, and this is like the irony's fucking beautiful. There was a woman who wrote a book many years ago on how to murder. The book is a novel. It's just a novel. It's called How to Murder Your Husband. Well, she was recently arrested. You know what for? She murdered her husband.
Wow! I had some good ideas in here.
Yeah. Did she do it by the book?
Apparently not, because I think the person who murdered her husband got away with it. But authorities in Oregon say 68-year-old romance novelist Nancy Crampton Brophy was arrested for allegedly gunning down her husband at the Oregon Culinary Institute in Portland in June 2011. Crampton Brophy wrote an essay titled "How to Murder Your Husband." So yeah, that was an essay, not a book.
I find it weird that it was at a culinary school or something.
Yeah, dude. It's I guess
she was teaching.
She was hungry. I think he was a professor there.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or teacher. I don't. Do they call culinary guys professors?
They call them chefs.
No, I know that, but I'm talking about the people who teach the class. Are they professors?
I don't. Like maybe. I guess.
I mean, it certainly is an honorific title, and someone who my nephew went to a culinary school, and he addressed his the people that taught classes, the professors.
Okay, we'll see. There you go. I mean, yeah, I tell you what though, those guys take that name, that title, chef, seriously. It's like the guys who take doctor too serious. Like you call me Doctor John.
But it's like you're a sous chef, you're a you're executive chef, you're a line chef. Those are things, and you got to work your way up to the point where
you earned it.
Executive chef means you're the ones that call the shots.
Yeah,
you have ultimate control over what's coming out of the kitchen.
And they put a lot of time and work into becoming that stuff. So I can see why they want that, people to recognize the title. I mean, I can understand. It's just sometimes it seems a little pompous.
But it's also the those folks take they work awfully hard. Unfortunately, in the typical things, at least in North America, they get paid not as well as, for example, someone like a maitre d', someone who is at the front of the house. But
is that right?
Yeah, I mean, because you can serving, being a server, like for example, you met my niece.
Yeah, I did.
And she's does a lot of basically manage for greeting the guests, and is a wait staff. She does a lot better than the back end cooks that have a critical control over the food.
Wow.
And I don't understand quite why, because I look at my niece and my nephew, both equally talented, but the case, my nephew's had to work hard and working his way up to executive chef.
Now I have a theory on that.
Well,
this is my theory of because I think it may be because a happy customer, someone who is treated with respect and treated nice and everything, is more likely to return to that place if the food is just adequate enough. But you know what I'm saying? And if the food sucks, that's different. But if the food is just pretty good, but the customer service is awesome, they're still likely to return.
sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's 100% true.
No, I was just saying I was a hostess and a waitress. So, yeah. It is very sad, yeah.
And it's really, and I don't quite understand why, because I would think, the amount of the physical labor that chefs put in is way above someone who's in the front of the house, in terms of the amount of physical effort that they're going through in a hot, intense environment.
Oh, it's rough back there.
Horrible. Yeah, it's bad.
But on the other hand, my niece will say is that she makes sure that she shares her tips rather generously with the back of the house, and that's because when something is going wrong and you need the chef to pay attention and to correct something, if they know that you're sharing the goods with them, you get a little better service, right? On the other hand, if they know that you're stiff in the back of the house has ways of letting the front of the house know you're screwed up.
There's a restaurant around here. It's kind of like high class in the middle of downtown, but they do this thing where if you're really enjoying the food, you can buy everyone in the back a beer, and that's kind of cool.
That is good. That's neat.
But Luna, how was it when you were maitre d' and so forth? What was
Luna blew everybody that came in.
I did.
That is some great service.
That's good. With every pancake bought, you get a blowjob.
No, I mean, yeah, it was really weird as far as like the back of the house. Because we're the first, because I was hostess and then I was waitress for longer, but we're like the first people that you see. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like representation of the restaurant, and then the food after. It's really strange.
Every position in a restaurant like that is key to the success. Every position.
It is, but it's really weird how like, you know, like when they come in there, like I had certain people that were come in just to see me, and they would just have like whatever. They're like, "What do you suggest?" You know, and then I'd have to like, but then at the same time, I wasn't the one cooking it, and a lot of times I spent a numerous amount of time with the cooks and talking to them, and they gave me a bunch of recipes too. I was like,
I think that's key.
My tips too.
I think that's key for like for the waiters to and the chefs to like being simpatico.
Because here's the secret is like I shared my tips too with the back, not just the chefs, but also the bus boys.
Awesome, that's great because that's a position highly overlooked right there.
Freaking got my section was like super clean, and I was like, I'm sorry.
But it you know, that shows class there, Luna, and that's a really big point. And so sharing with the back of the house because they're the ones that can make your job or break your job.
Yeah, right. and people often overlook the bus boys, the dishwashers, and stuff like that. And those guys are bad. Let me tell you something. I washed dishes in a big restaurant when I was younger. That's a hard fucking job.
Hell yeah, it is. Yeah,
that is a hard job, dude. Because it's constantly coming at you. It's crazy, man. You'll have dishes stacked up to the fucking ceiling. I walked out.
I did it because like this. Okay,
I quit and walked out one day.
One of the dishwashers that we had, he had like a family emergency, so I basically did that, and I gave him the money for it. But I was like, whatever, and I was like listening to music, and I'm like, watching it. But it was after. But I didn't leave until 2 in the morning.
I had an opposite thing. See, I was a dishwasher one night, and they were short a waiter or waitress or something one night, and I was friends with a manager, and he come back there, he's like, John, could you wait tables? And I'm like, fuck no, I can't. And I was like, so I went up there and I did it anyway. And dude, I made the most tips that night. I was like, because I'd used the whole. I'm a good talker.
I would think that your improv and your personality would benefit. On the other hand, the thing that would probably be difficult for you, Pimpmunk, is memory.
Yes, because I have a horrible fucking memory. Yeah, that's true. So I write. Yeah.
I mean, you talk. For example, a mutual friend of ours, Galen. Who is probably if he's hearing this, he's probably saying, "Let me on the show. Let me on the show." But you can go to Galen and you can go in and rattle off an order, and he'll listen to it and he'll be able to recite it back to you.
Yeah,
doesn't write it down. Right? He's got a.
I can't work like that. I can't work like that. I forget walking from here to the door.
And it's not good enough just to write it. You say, "Okay, I'm going to write it down."
Yeah.
But the problem is that how many times you're going to write it down, and then there's changes and there's
it's crazy.
Adoption. But so did you like your job in being a server or?
Yeah, I loved it. I liked it a lot. It's weird because, like John was saying, I mean, I was, I have agoraphobia and panic disorder, so it's strange to be around a bunch of people and have to interact with them. But I made a lot of tips. I guess because I'm silly or whatever, and I basically the way I am here.
You're hot, Luna. You're hot.
It was all kinds of people. Even the Hawaiian Tropic models or whatever, or bikini models, whatever. Yeah. They left me one of the biggest tips. And I actually, because they were sitting at a round table, and I leaned over, I was filling up their water, and I leaned over and I spilt water everywhere all over the chick. I was like, oh my God.
Damn.
And then I was trying to pat her down with my titty.
Yeah. Well, as I say,
But she left me like $40.
Sure. But it's I say in a well-run restaurant, everyone has a pull as a team, right? So so the head server is filling in for people. They'll be willing to if a customer calls them and it's someone else's station, they'll sit there and say, "Oh, I don't do that table," right? No, it's like
Yeah.
no, they see an issue because everyone sort of is pulls it together. I know that there's some places, I'm told, some restaurants where essentially it's sort of mandatory that all the tips go into a pool and get shared. They're required.
And see, I don't like that idea though. I don't think somebody should be forced to share their tips.
Yeah,
I think they should do that on their own.
Because I worked at this one place. I don't want to say it. I worked at this one place. We did have to actually do the pooling, but the food itself was very expensive, so that we didn't have a lot of customers.
Yeah,
it's in a small town. A lot, expensive food. So that kind of was okay, sort of. You know what I mean? Because we didn't like one day if I got like $100 and this other girl got 10, it just kind of was fair if we was with 3 waitresses to split it all up. Even though it depends, but the smaller restaurants, okay. The bigger ones, I kind of don't like that when you have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
well. Okay.
But I say, what's the so what was the best tip you got in terms of? I mean, did anyone give you like an outrageous tip amount or
I got 150.
150. Nice.
Yeah,
that's really good.
I was like,
that's really good. The biggest tip I ever got was like was probably like $80 or something, and it was a pretty big order.
That's good too.
But did you also have those tables you busted your arse on, and they gave you they did the European thing and they rounded up to the next dollar or something like that?
No, I mean I think like the worst. Oh, you're talking about like bad.
Yeah. No, I mean in terms of where they essentially you really poured your heart out for service and essentially got forgotten on the tip.
Yeah, that happened too. That was fun. But usually like I'm like, really? And then they would keep coming back and you knew. So what I would do is we'd always have like new waitresses coming in, but I worked there for 7 years. So when the new waitresses would come in, I'm like, okay, so see that person over there, you can have that.
It's always fun to
like $15. Yeah.
It's always fun to mess with new people because I used to be a GM at Jimmy John's, and whenever we'd get new people, like we'd start them off with like dishes and stuff, but I would because we had one sink filled with soap water, and I would always tell them, hey, be careful, there are some knives at the bottom. So just be, really careful. So they would spend 15 minutes just like slowly, like running their hand along the bottom of the sink. And I'm like, I got a secret for you. There are no knives in there. So you just waste their time.
Moving on. Some, you've heard, most of you probably heard about it, really don't care, but the Serena Williams thing, it keeps getting stronger and stronger. She pitched a fucking fit. Basically because she got caught cheating. And, of course, she said it was because of sexism, and now there's some racism stuff involved. But the umpires, some tennis umpires are considering boycotting umpiring her matches because of how she acted. because a lot of people, the press was really trying to push it for her side, by the way, but it was kind of a backfire. People were like, no, she acted like a fucking brat. And
yeah, she acted like a real baby about it.
She did, and it's and the thing about it is, she was saying it was sexist, right? Guys, her opponent was a female. It wasn't like he was chum.
Her opponent was like also black, so you can't like say that it was sexism or racism.
And this guy's been umpiring matches for 40 years.
So she got how was she allegedly?
There was three strikes against her, I guess, but there was one. The big one was coaching. See, in tennis, you're not allowed to get coaching during the match. And he was throwing signals. Well, she started screaming, said that was absolutely not true. I've never coached. But listen here's what's funny. After all this happened, her coach said, yes, I was doing that. Yeah, he admitted to it.
Yeah, he said that he was giving all the signals, but then she said that she wasn't like taking any or even looking at them.
So one of the strikes was this alleged coaching thing.
Yes, and
I think the other ones were for conduct, I think.
Yes, and because she started acting crazy, dude. I mean, she started screaming and demanding an apology and just crazy shit. And I'm like, this little spoiled bitch. And of course they try to say it's sexism or racism, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's part of the game.
So Pimpmunk did they like go back to one of her matches like 2 years ago and discover that she was coached? Is that how it works?
No, that ain't how it works. That was a YouTube jab, by the way. But that would be bad, wouldn't it? Because that's what YouTube does. They go back 2 years ago, pick up a video. It was good enough 2 years ago, but now, no, change the rules on you. Boom. You shouldn't be punished for rules that are changed. Because you don't have psychic powers, right? I don't have psychic fucking powers. I didn't know 2 years ago that YouTube would become a bunch of fucking pussies. And I stand by that video because that video was fucking hilarious. It was a brilliant comedy clip. Because think about it. The character was an overly gay, flaming homosexual looking to lose weight. So he discovered an exercise program called Nazi sizing. And so there was the salutes, the exercise to work the chest and the pecs, and then there was throw the Jews in the oven, working the shoulder.
Allegedly.
I think the throw the Jews in the oven is what got me.
Yeah, because Red Eye is screaming. You're supposed to say allegedly, right? So
allegedly, but here's the deal. It was clearly satire. I mean, fucking clearly satire. But it's just so sad that YouTube is trying to kill comedy. I mean, all the bullshit that's going on YouTube, all the bullying, because there's a lot of that shit going on. Bullying, doxing, just bullshit. They're banning people that's trying to make motherfuckers laugh.
Yeah.
Jokes are violence, pimp. Remember
that? Jokes are violent. But
it's just like shooting someone in the face.
Apparently, I'm doing comedy right, though. One of my favorite comedians, Patrice O'Neill, said one time before he passed away, he said, comedy is supposed to be fit. You're supposed to make 50% of the audience laugh and piss 50% off. So I guess I'm doing comedy right.
Yeah. But YouTube would have given Lenny Bruce community strikes for being naughty, right?
Think about it. Think about that. Exactly. That is a great point. Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, Richard Pryor.
I mean, he said naughty words.
Yeah, Richard Pryor.
He even said the hard in.
Yeah, he would say. Dude, last night I was on Skep Talk Live right before the show. Hey, Skep Talk told me, said, basically the only thing you can't say on here is the N-word. So I played a little thing, of course, what I did in the show. I said, I recently had a surgery on my knee. They stopped it from growing. My knee no longer grows, and I can't. and he knew what I was doing, and I was like, my knee doesn't grow. But it was.
You did that. I was like, oh.
And I didn't even mention why I was doing that, but I think most people got it. But yeah, it's just silly that YouTube's doing that. I'm glad that sports events don't do that. Even though I was told that was a bad analogy, it's not a bad analogy. It's actually a good analogy. You can't go back and, punish someone for what they did back in the day when it wasn't against the rules. It's plain and simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTubers, I mean, yeah, people like Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Lenny Bruce, Rodney Dangerfield, Sam Kinison, they quit. Think about how they would be censored on YouTube today.
I bet you could get a community strike for inserting some of your content with permission.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet if somebody did a stand-up bit of Lenny Bruce, he would get kicked off YouTube. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say that Carlin had this entire bit about slurs where he just like railed off like 20 or 30 racial slurs, and he was like, "They're just words," and I'm like, I completely agree with that, but it's just, he would have been demonetized.
Yeah, he would. I mean, he'd be kicked off, and I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't know it was gonna happen that quick. I knew I was going to get another strike. I knew that because I got too many people. I got that dude he flagged, and that, by the way, that was what happened. They sent me an email saying that's what happened. Somebody flagged it. They reviewed it, or the algorithm reviewed it and agreed with the flag, and they took my video and they suspended me for 3 months. So I mean, in the video, so. But what happened was all these videos was on private. Everybody's been asking me to see my videos again. I opened them up for 20 minutes, and I was going to go through right quick and knock out a couple, but they got me in 20 minutes time.
I wonder if, in fact, the person who was trying to report you was one of the people through a sock account asking you to open stuff up.
It could have been. I'm not going to do. It could have been. I do know that I figured out. There's this one guy who comes in here, and by the way, mods, if he comes in here today or any time, by the name of Rudy, immediately ban him, because he's going around trying to get other YouTubers, I guess pay them to say fuck Pimpmunk and talk shit about me. And it's Tim. It's my stalker, dude. I figured that out, and if I'm correct, I've had this stalker now for like 4 years. It's the same guy. Yeah.
I wish I had a stalker.
No, you don't, dude.
No, you don't.
No, you really don't, man. This guy is fucking insane. He has contacted my family. He has literally messaged my mom on Facebook. He's showed up at my hotels and like when I was in Philly, he was outside my hotel recording videos. He's fucking crazy. And so, yeah, he can.
Did you hear that? I don't know if you watched her video, but JJ Talks did a video about her stalker. Yeah, that's a crazy story.
And that all started in my chat room.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he was it all started on my chat room. He was crazy, dude. And you know what? I don't know. It could be the same fucking dude. I don't know. I don't think so, but it could be. Yeah, he ended up flying to her city, I guess, or driving and going to her apartment.
Yeah, like he was like right outside of it. That's so crazy.
Yeah, dude, man, y'all gotta stop taking this shit so serious. I mean,
I think that the person, I think the person has problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not talking about trolling. We're talking about someone who has.
Yep, there's a difference.
Has problems.
Absolutely, there's a difference between trolling and what this guy does and what the guy did with JJ. It's completely different. I don't mind someone coming in the chat room talking shit. That's trolling. When you go as far as contacting someone's family, trying to destroy what they're doing, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Now I'm Luna's stalker, but in a good way. The only thing weird I've ever done was bathe in her period blood.
Yeah.
That's not that
Really?
weird.
It's not
That's
that
not
weird.
bad.
It's not bad.
Want some more?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna make it. Send it to you.
The more you produce. Anyway, that's so sick and disgusting. There's no way I could do something. But yeah, fuck stalkers, man. They're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I have some friends that won't talk their names, but they're very well known, and they have stalkers. They have people that are obsessed with them, and the problem that they say is that you can get court orders to have restraining orders, and they will, for example, these stalkers are mentally, they think, oh, the court is keeping me away from their best bud, and so they're going to defy the court and break the restraining order because they know that you're going to blah blah blah, right? It's a
Yeah, that's
it's a
crazy.
And it shouldn't have to fuck up your life where you have to like move everywhere to get away from the fucking.
Yeah. Oh, see, JJ had to move. JJ had to move because of this dude. She moved because of this shit. Dude, I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna let that dude. See, the only reason he didn't get hurt in Philadelphia is I didn't know he was downstairs. He does not want to meet me close up. That's just a fact. Because I will hurt this motherfucker. I mean, I'm playing it on.
And Pimpmunk, your anger is quite justified. The problem, as I say, that I see from friends that have, that are stalked, is that if they go and, for example, they've been told, like one of the guys been told, there are people who could take care of that person for you.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just put it like that. And they say, well, no, one, that's not who they are. And two, that will just drive them into deeper desperation.
That's true. That's true. But see, the thing about it is, though, I used to be a motherfucker that would take care of problems. And I used to be, and I'm not that person, and I do not in any way want to go back to being that person. But he doesn't want to meet that person. And if you, and because I could hurt him badly. I mean, back in my day, I was a little vicious, mean motherfucker, dude. I used to snap people's fingers. Seriously, I was that motherfucker. I was mean. I bit a dude's testicle. I mean, seriously.
Hey, some people are into that.
Yeah, let's keep it to family. But to still seriously, because this one guy, when he makes a restaurant reservation, they typically have usually like 6 different restaurants.
Yeah.
Where he will then go and pay the 5 he doesn't show up, full amounts, just to try and prevent this stalker from figuring out what place they're showing up in.
No. Well, talking about weird fuckers, you heard about Pope Francis calling a summit to discuss preventing clergy sex abuse? It's going to happen in February.
I didn't hear it.
It's going to happen in February 2019. The unprecedented gathering of the world's presidents of Catholic bishops conference will take place in February 2019, and it's good. They're going to be trying to get rid of the sex abuse that's going on in the church.
So
that sounds like the next ecumenical council.
Yeah, but it's now. I will say, I know we're all atheists here, whatever. Most of us are, but now I will give this Pope. Now he's fucked up but this Pope though seems a little bit more logical than most popes have been in the past.
No. He doesn't get a pass. Being the head of the largest child abuse ring in the world does not give him a pass.
No, but he's trying to change it.
And he is the head of an organization which is responsible for a lot of misery in the world. If there was a hell, that guy for being, quote, but I'm a nicer mean dude, right? No.
But no,
Sorry,
but every
right?
organization takes somebody to change, and maybe he's the one. I'm just playing devil's advocate here now. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
but I don't know. I,
I
I'm,
don't.
just, I'm
I got
The
not,
that
thing is,
question mark too. I'm like,
the thing is, this stuff has been going on for a really long time.
yeah, but he wasn't always
And
in charge either. So let's give
I
him.
know he wasn't always in
Yeah,
charge, but he's been in charge. And now since there's this, second scandal, because this happened, once before,
yeah.
uh, he's I don't know if it's legit or not.
I don't know either. And like I said, now I wasn't saying that he was a good man in any way. Was not saying that. I was just saying it does seem like some of the things he's been saying recently that maybe he's a little bit better than the other guys.
but is it
Um,
because a lot of people are like going away from
it could be.
to
Like
try
I,
to
I
keep
like,
people
yeah,
like
it
to
could
rally
be.
them back in? It's like, don't go
I mean,
away.
don't get
We're
me wrong.
actually good.
Don't get me wrong.
Come over here.
I wasn't defending the Catholic Church in any way.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, the Catholic Church is one of the worst examples of religion. I've always said it. And I think all religions fucked up. Don't get me wrong, but I do think, of course, just like in everything, there's some that's worse than the other. It's like I think Islam is the most dangerous. I do, and I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck if anybody disagrees. Islam is the most archaic, most dangerous religion out there right now. Go ahead.
But you see, and so I also have to say, and Brian J 1962, hello there, for folks. Is a good man over there. I think some of the tongue-in-cheek asked, am I condemning the current guy with the funny hat for the sins of his predecessors? Well, a couple of things to consider. First of all, the guy who's ahead of this organization has been implicated in protecting child abusers.
Okay, I didn't
So
know that.
we're talking about the fact that he's been nailed for covering up himself.
Okay.
Secondly, if you are the head of an organization who is seen to be you are shepherding the traditions of your organization, and you are and that's in fact part of your shtick, right? That you are carrying on the tradition. You own the tradition.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like I say, that I condemn in the worst way the monarchies, and in the UK the lady who was on the dole, supposedly is the head of this, you can't say I'm going to take all of the finery of the monarchy and then say, yeah, but I'm not responsible for some of the bad stuff. Hey, if you are owning up to what the organization does and carrying on its tradition and history and adding your own flair, you own the good and the bad.
I get that. But the only thing I'm saying is that he's calling a conference to try to end which is good. That part is good. If he can do it, that's fine. I didn't know he was part of the problem himself exactly. But I don't know.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if Opus Dei gets upset at it. Saying you're coming up to the 17th century is not going to give you a pass for being a reformer. I'm sorry, right? These folks still haven't, for example, pardoned Galileo. They've apologized for irregularities, but he still, in their eyes, stands condemned for doing what? Challenging their authority. Well, screw their organization, screw their authority. And given the amount of misery that this organization has perpetrated on the world, no, I'm sorry. If the guy at the head of it wants to do something, really resign and condemn the organization you're head of, because what's going on in there. But no, they won't. It's perpetuating. So sorry. And by the way, if you are the representative of the imam, you're just as silly. So it's and if you're the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, you're in the same sort of thing. I don't mean to pick on just the Roman Catholic organization.
Yeah. Well, you know what I said? But I say my dick.
Yeah. Sorry. And I say that's. I mean, because in some ways, if you sit there and say, well, the Roman Catholics aren't as bad as, and pick some other organization, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't say, oh, my urine doesn't smell as bad as my poo, so. Sorry.
But now I do agree with what Brian says there. He can't change anything if he's resigned, though. So I get that.
But I think the world would be better off without the organization.
I mean, I agree with that.
I agree with that too, but that's not going to happen. I mean,
at least not for a while.
Yeah, but now I don't think. But now I also want to say this by saying that I do not want to end religion. I do not want religion to just go away, because I think that would be part of our history going away, and I don't like that. But and I know I piss a lot of atheists off when I say that, but I don't think everything in religion is bad. Most of it, yes, but there is some good stuff.
Well,
but
sure there is.
But notice
it's not contingent.
Sure.
No, I agree.
And I didn't condemn Catholics. I didn't
you didn't. No, you did not.
Muslims. I didn't condemn I'm talking about the hierarchy of stuff.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You're just as much of a loon as the head of the founder of Scientology, or the founder of the Mormons, or the founder of you pick your set there. It's just that he happens to be also quite visible.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Go ahead, Luna.
Well, I guess what you're saying, is like for him to make a real difference, like you were saying, is to resign and be like, I condemn this organization that I was a part of before, and then and kind of tell the world about that. Maybe I would probably like him actually then, sort of. Not really, but
My dick.
Yeah, your dick.
Yeah. I stole that from Richard Pryor. Every time Richard Pryor didn't like something, or somebody talked to him, he didn't want to talk to him, he'd just say my dick. Anyways, that is very serious. Got Landon his underwear all up in his butt crack. Landon. So we're gonna lighten it up just a little bit here. A rat pulls a fire alarm inside a condo building and spurs an evacuation. In Washington, D.C., a rascally rat caused a stir in a condo building after it set off a fire alarm. Residents had to be evacuated, but there was no one harmed. How do they know a rat did it?
Did they did they videotape it, or
that's what
I mean?
That'd be so funny.
Yes, they do.
Probably, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm gonna show it's a little gif of it right here, but I'm gonna show it to you. It's just a little gif of. Oh my God, dude, this is crazy. Look at that! Boom, boom.
Oh my God.
See, this is just proof that the rats are trolling us.
Yeah.
Fucking Master Splinter over here.
Look at that little fucker.
Well, maybe the guy he's trying to jump up higher on something. Maybe that's what.
No, he's fucking with everybody. He's like, y'all try to catch me with a fucking trap. Watch this, nigga. Bam. That is absolutely hilarious. I love this fucking rat.
I want the rat.
I want that rat too. That is fucking funny.
Maybe that's where they oftentimes have those guards, over the thing where you have to lift it up in order to get to it.
Yeah, it was gone, wasn't it? That was cool. That was funny though. I love stories like that. I know it caused the stir and had everybody evacuate, but nobody got hurt. It's funny as fuck. I love that. Oh my God, I'm gonna share that GIF everywhere. I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, I'm hearing my voice from somebody. I don't know which one it's coming from, but it's not too bad. It's just a little faint a repeat of my voice. Norm Macdonald, everybody know who that is? He's a stand-up comedian. He defends Roseanne Barr and Louis C.K. in a new interview. The comedian whose new Netflix talk show premieres this week is under fire for a new interview with the Hollywood Reporter in which he is critical of the Me Too movement and defends fellow comedians Roseanne Barr and Louis C.K. Okay, he's not allowed to have an opinion, I'm sure. And if you go against any of those, if you go against if you say anything negative about the Me Too movement, oh my God, you're a horrible human being.
I mean, something that I find like amusing about the Me Too movement. What was her name? Like Asia Argento or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, she was
fuck this kid.
Yeah, exactly, like a 17-year-old or something.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really interesting seeing the like how people are analyzing this, because while yes, like in the minds of like social justice warriors, it's oh sure, you have a man and a woman, so the woman is likely the victim, but at the same time it was also an underage kid.
Yeah,
so
and now she's claiming that he raped her.
Yeah, exactly. So it went from that never happened to he raped me.
Yeah, because she first denied it.
They paid him.
They paid him off. Then she said she never had sex with him, and now he raped her.
Yeah. So it's just really interesting watching this all unfold.
Yeah, it's great, and to see some of her fellow Me Too movement people, famous actresses, defend, say, well, don't rush to judgment. But that you don't say that when men are accused of rape. You don't say don't rush to judgment. Look, I'm all for taking down rapists because it's a sick fucking act. It's a sick fucking act. But everybody deserves due process.
Yeah,
but men don't seem to get that these days, especially publicly. In the public eye, social, maybe in court we still do. I don't know so much about that either. But socially, if you're accused of rape, you're destroyed.
Yeah,
immediately. Nobody's giving you an opportunity. I hate this. You can't doubt the accuser. I hate this fucking idea that we cannot doubt the accuser. Now, I do know where it stems from. I do know it stems from back like in the old days where women was accused of rape. The cops would say, well, you sure you didn't cause it? Shit like that. I get that. But you went from one extreme to another. I mean, it's
we have to be nuanced about these things, especially something as serious as that.
Exactly.
Like we want to make sure we have the right person.
Yeah, exactly. And basically what Norm was doing here, and he was just basically defending Louis C.K. Which, first of all, let me defend Louis C.K. Louis C.K. didn't do. All he did was ask people, "Can I jerk off in front of you?" And some of them said yeah, and some of them said no. The ones that said yeah, he jerked off. The ones that said no, he didn't. He asked for permission. He asked for consent. Now, is he creepy, a little freaky, a little kinky? Yeah. But we're all a little freaky and kinky at times. So, yeah. And now Roseanne Barr, he defended Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr does have a history of saying some kind of little edgy racist shit, but here I will say this also. She has the right to.
Well, yeah, obviously it's not illegal to be an asshole.
No, and honestly, I think what Roseanne Barr said was kind of racist. I do. I honestly think it was. I also think she was right though, because the chick did look like the Planet of the Apes woman.
She did kind of, yeah.
I mean, she did look like the motherfucker.
I saw pictures. I was like,
I mean, if somebody says I look like a fat guy and I actually look like the fat guy, okay, how can I deny that? I mean, the bitch looked like a monkey. I'm sorry, but she did. But anyways, I don't think Norm Macdonald should be condemned for defending, because he's allowed an opinion. He's allowed an opinion. We all are. What do you think, Landon?
I think that he is. I mean, but But again, one of the things that we're talking about here is trying to apply some reasonableness to this sort of thing. There's not a formula where you can sit there and say this is allowed and this is not. Right? You have to have some amount of human judgment, which is, I mean, let's say, YouTube, one of its failings is that they're applying algorithms to human judgment.
Oh, absolutely. Because an algorithm can't judge intent, which people can't judge intent. Really, it's hard to see what intent is, but a damn algorithm definitely can't say, "Oh, he was intending to be funny" or something. They can't do that. I agree with that. Here's what it should be allowed to be said: just anything. I think anything should be.
I think there are some limits, like libel, slander, direct threats of violence.
Oh yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, as long as it isn't calling for the harm of someone. Like if I say I want everybody to go whip our Milwaukee Atheist ass, no, that's different.
Yeah.
But if I say you deserve your ass whooped,
yeah, exactly.
That there's the difference.
Yeah.
There's the big the difference there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think you're not going to be. You can't be excused from the consequences of your actions.
Oh, exactly. Yes, I will say that 100%. You got to know once you say something, people are listening, people are reading, and so you got to expect the feedback. But yeah, it's fucked up though. How far where we're at in this world right now. I have never seen PC culture so strong as we are right now. It is crazy. I mean, you can't say absolutely anything. And it's just absolutely nuts. I know that it's always been around. It's the PC culture has always been around that, but not as strong as it is right now. I mean, it's like it's weird. It's even to the point now to where they're openly bigoted towards certain people by calling them and saying, and we're the ones being treated like bigots. It's so weird. We live in a weird time right now.
Yeah.
It's a scary, scary place. Anyways.
I also don't like how so many of the activists, they don't actually care about having a conversation or changing minds. They just want to yell and shout about this kind of stuff. Like, I think that if you're trying to spearhead a movement, you need to be able to talk about this stuff, and you need to take that initiative.
Well, they don't want discourse. They want you to do what they want.
Exactly. Like there's a reason, like when it comes to this kind of stuff, like there's a reason I like people like Lacey and JJ. It's because like they talk to people. But when it comes to people like Steve Shives and Christy Winters, they don't want to talk to people. They don't care about the conversation. They just want to censor.
No, exactly. They don't. It's their what's the change really isn't what's important to them. It's the agenda that they've got, the control that they want to like be able to. I don't know. It's just so weird. I mean, I don't know how these people work because it's very hard to get inside of a mind of these people because their mind changes so much. The rules change daily. I don't know how to. Steve Shives creeps me the fuck out. I would never let any of my female family members in a room alone with that little bastard. I just got a feeling he would just rape their kneecaps.
Steve Shives, man. Like, so, he was one of the people who was trying to deplatform everybody from the last MythCon. And that was one that I like took a part in organizing. Yeah. And like he was telling people that were on his side to just not go.
How did they go? How did they end up going?
So they would three people in specific, Dan Arell, Steve Shives, and Christy Winters. They sent emails to the venue, to the Pabst Theater.
Mhm.
And they were saying things like white supremacists, like this
Just making
organization is inviting white supremacists, and they're going to be Nazis there. Although Christie only concentrated on Sargon, but the guys they were just claiming that the entire thing was, in the words of Dan Arell, a Nazi training camp. And those are actually the words he used.
I want to defend Sargon right quick. He's too fucking boring to be a Nazi. I'm just I mean, most Nazis had a little bit of charisma. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. I've met some pretty uncharismatic Nazis.
Fucking Sargon. I know I mean, look, he's a pretty smart guy, I guess. But boy, I'd rather be butt fucked by a weed eater than sit there and listen to him speak for an hour.
Like the thing is, when it comes to Sargon, I actually used to really like his content, but then he's just kind of been pushed further and further right, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is just not for me anymore. I'm all for having the conversation, but just he's not. He's kind of lost any nuance that he once had.
Yeah, okay, well, I understand that. It's just, I don't know, dude. I just always found him like extremely boring to listen to. And it's because he talks so slow, and it's just, like, God damn, kill me now. But it's not like Landon. When Landon gives a presentation, Landon whips out his dick and does the helicopter and everything, and makes it entertaining.
Yeah, I really loved Landon's recent thing. I think it was I forget if it was on Nonsec or if it was just on like McRae's channel, but it was about why like 0.99 repetent equals 1. And it's just so interesting because there are like so many easy proofs about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like and you saw I was human because I actually made 2 mistakes during the middle of the thing, but I corrected it. So
when we were in Myrtle Beach last year, Landon gave a couple of presentations, and the one I really enjoyed the one where he was showing us his safari pics and shit. Man, that was fucking awesome. All the animals he had, and this January we're going to be in Nashville, and I'm hoping Landon's willing to do another presentation night. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. By the way, since I brought that up, might as well mention it. In January, the second pimp gathering, the second official pimp gathering, if you're interested in showing up, the information will be released soon. We're trying to get at least 15 people to go. Last year we had 11. I would like to have 15 people this year. Milwaukee's not that far from Nashville, bro.
That's absolutely true. Not that far. I think it took me like 10 hours to drive there last time I went.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
That was where I stopped on the way to Florida.
It's gonna be awesome.
I mean, I have no idea when winter break is, but if it crosses over during that time, yeah, that might be fun.
I think the dates we were looking at was the 12th to the 19th.
I'll have to check.
Of January. I think it's the dates. It's not set in stone, but there's going to be a lot of cool shit happen. We're going to do a sing-along tour of Nashville. It's basically you get on a party bus, do karaoke, and drink all through Nashville. And we're also going to do a riverboat tour, and I'm going to do some. I'm thinking very seriously because there's a lot of street performing going on in Nashville. I'm thinking very seriously about doing some stand-up street performances when I'm there also.
Yeah.
And so there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff happening, and I'm looking forward to it. So keep in touch if you want to go. Well, anybody's welcome. The only thing I ask is just please be a fan of my content, because if you're not a fan of of Pimpmunk's content, then there's really no sense in going. Last year, there was one dude showed up and never watched a video of mine. I'm like, what the fuck are you even here for? But anyways, but this year we do promise that Landon will not shave his pubes and put it in your chili like he did last year.
What?
You know what? I would be honored if Landon put his feet in my choice.
Now the one thing that had pissed me off last year, see, Landon bought a bunch of alcohol for them. We had like a shit ton of alcohol, but he bought one. My favorite whiskey is Maker's Mark. It's my favorite whiskey. He bought a bottle and he said to everybody, "This is Pimpmunk's whiskey." They all drank my whiskey.
Those fucking assholes.
And how much of that whiskey did you have?
Not very much. I think a couple of shots, maybe.
You know, a few last year actually, for Halloween, my friend was having, this party, and he got a bottle of this. This is my favorite rum, Cannon Blast, Captain Morgan. It's fucking fantastic. And he had a bottle of it, and I just kind of turned on the pirate inside of me, and I just took it. It was mine, and then I ended up drinking that whole thing in like 5 or 6 hours. I felt fucking great. It was amazing.
Well, yeah, but yeah, that's cool. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fun there. We're gonna do a lot of things and have it. So if you're interested, keep in touch. Let me go over here right quick. Yeah, the one thing that I'm looking forward to this year is going to the music museums around there because I got plenty of them. Plenty of them. Okay, Russia kicks off biggest war game since Soviet fall. At least 300,000 Russian troops, 36,000 vehicles, and 1,000 aircraft are a part of the Vostok 2018 exercises, according to the Russian Ministry of Defense. That's interesting, I guess. Any opinions on that?
They have to deal with unemployment too. So I mean, although it probably will cause the Chinese to say, "Oh, you think that's a lot," and then they'll have a lot of people because China can mobilize large amounts of people as well. So it'll probably cause someone else to go and try to one up them.
Okay. War games, man. Okay, here's something. Let me see. Why horseshoe crab blood is one of the most expensive resources. Horseshoe crab blood is a vital resource to the medical field. It's unique in more ways than one. The blue color and its ability to identify bacteria contaminate. Oh, God, I can't say that word.
Contamination.
Yeah, there you go. Contamination. I don't know why the fuck I couldn't read that word. In small quantities, horseshoe crab blood is also used in FDA testing. I sound like a retard because I couldn't say contamination. Fuck. Now I feel bad about myself. I didn't know horseshoe crab blood was that important to the world.
Me neither.
Have you ever seen it?
Never.
Look at it.
I've eaten it.
You've ate horseshoe crab blood?
No, not the blood.
That's look at it. It's blue, man.
That's kind of cool.
It is. It looks like Kool-Aid. That's interesting, though. It's expensive. It doesn't say how much it costs, but it says one of the most expensive.
That is a lot of blood, though.
Yeah.
No, damn.
That is weird looking blood, though.
They mean a dangerous species.
Here's something else. Would you eat this pizza?
Okay. What?
What?
That right there. Can you see it?
That just looks weird.
It's
doesn't look right.
What is that? Burrata? Burrata pizza is every cheese lover's dream.
Is that a kind of cheese? Burrata?
Yeah. It's every cheese lover's dream. It says, Machina, New York City combines burrata and pizza to let you play with your food and send you to cheese paradise. The dish is making cheese lovers everywhere want a bite of this tasty combo. It does.
I mean, it's
I like it since I live in Wisconsin. I like cheese.
Yeah.
Big fucking surprise.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I would totally try this.
I mean, burrata is from cow milk. It's a sort of a fresh Italian milk.
Yeah.
It's kind of or occasionally buffalo is another thing that they'll make it from. It's made from essentially it's a combination of mozzarella and cream.
Okay, I've never had it.
Okay,
You would put mozzarella on your pizza, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's made from there. It's the outer shell. The outer shell. You notice he had or she had that blob. The outer shell is solid mozzarella, and the inside is a sort of a stracciatella and cream.
Okay.
So you might think of it. I mean, again, and it's not cream like the sort of milk they put in there. I talk about real thick.
Yeah.
Real thick cream. I mean, its original word in Italian means buttered, right? So think of it as a mozzarella with a very 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 heavy cream that's on there, and so you would bake it. You typically have it as in kind of the shell. You break it open. So you saw the person was breaking open and spreading it out. Extremely thick cream, and so it's pretty good. I mean, the burrata is pretty good. So I can imagine having it on a pizza. But you'd have to. I don't think you'd want to bake the pizza with the burrata on it. I think you'd want to add.
I think that's what they were doing. They'd add a pile on it and then they spread it around. That's what they were doing. I would try it.
I try it too. Yeah, I like pizza.
Yeah, Bob Woodward's books hit the store shelves yesterday. It's based on Trump. It's called Fear. And apparently Trump had some choice words for it, I think.
Of course he did.
It doesn't show where it's at. I can't see Trump's tweet, though. Fuck, where's it at? Fuck it anyway. Oh, here it is. The Woodward book is a scam. I don't talk the way I am quoted. If I did, I would not have been elected president. These quotes were made up. These quotes were made up. The author uses every trick in the book to demean and belittle. I wish the people could see the real facts, and our country is doing great.
Fake news.
Basically the book is apparently Woodward went around and interviewed a bunch of White House staff, and these are the quotes that they gave him, and he says it's all lies, of course.
Yeah, but I saw some fact checking, and it's like he has said stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, so here's where he said something, and then they compared to what he said, like in the book, and I'm like, that's the same thing, dude. Like, it's you did it. Yeah.
I mean, he is a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not, from what I hear, though, the book is not even that big of like an assassination piece or smear piece, as Brian said in the chat room. Yeah. I'm hearing it's not that bad, but Trump is making it worse by saying those things.
Yeah, it's like, he's freaking out because,
But Trump wants us to believe he's the most perfect person in the world because, I mean, anything negative about him is untrue. Anything negative. So you've never made a mistake in your fucking life? Is that what you're telling me, true? Because I have never heard him cop up to making a mistake, ever.
Me neither.
He has never...
Go ahead. I pulled up my all-time favorite Trump quote. So I think this was during a town hall. And the question was, how will you bring back the American dream? And he said, look, we can bring the American dream back. That I will tell you. We're bringing it back, okay? And I understand what you're saying. And I get that from so many people. Is the American dream dead? They're asking me the question, is the American dream dead? And the American dream is in trouble. That I can tell you, okay? It's in trouble, but we're going to get it back and do some real jobs. How about that man with the beautiful red hat? Stand up, what a hat.
God damn, yeah.
Hey, can we get like another like psych eval?
You know, when 9/11 happened, this fucker actually said, "Well, now I got the tallest building in New York."
I know. Yeah.
He actually said that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that it's he's getting close to the point where I think we should be talking about legal means to remove him from office. Particularly, what got me close to it was that his staff argued with Mueller's office that he is incapable of telling the truth and understanding truth from fiction when they did a mock interview. They don't want Mueller to interview Trump because they said, and then their argument was he's unable to tell fact from fiction.
Yeah.
Right? Or he's incapable of telling the truth. And to me, you're saying, and plus you look at if some of the stuff is true about his staff that sit there and say, some of these items. Again, I'm talking allegedly, right? So we're talking about his lawyers, his current lawyers, and his staff are saying the guy has problems. At that point, if that's really the case, then you need to consider invoking the 25th Amendment.
Yeah.
25th Amendment, the process says that the vice president and majority of the cabinet write a letter to the House and the Senate saying the president is unable to fulfill his office. The president has the right to object, in a certain amount of time, and then the House and the Senate decide who gets there. But this amendment, 25th Amendment, was put in place that when the president essentially is like it happened with President Wilson, where he had a stroke and essentially his wife ran the presidency for a while. They had no really way. The guy wasn't dead, but he had no real way of fulfilling the office.
But Mr. Landon, I'm going to take the 25th Amendment out because it's not right.
So now I have to say allegedly because what you would have to have is real declarations. I mean, there's a difference between people claiming it happened and demonstrating it, right? And that's
the only problem I have with that is then we'd have Mike Pence as president, and that's scary.
Yeah, and speaking of radical,
you gotta electrocute the gay away,
Catholics, right? But the reason to invoke the 25th Amendment is not because you don't like Trump's politics.
Yeah.
It's because you feel Trump is unable to fulfill the requirements of the office.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the same thing. Reserve impeachment and Senate trial for extreme cases, right? Where you can prove it. Now, in this particular case, even if you have a change of party in midterm, no one's going to expect on party lines you'll get 2/3 of the senators to vote to convict if the House came up with a bill, an impeachment bill, and I think, but I think that because impeachment's a political process, right? It's not a trial; it's a political process. The 25th Amendment is if the president is not able to fulfill their duties, right? And to me, if you are trying to negotiate trade deals, you're trying to negotiate critical things with military and so forth, and your staff is saying you can't tell the difference between truth and reality or other weird stuff that's going on, then that to me, set aside the politics and say that person doesn't have the wherewithal to fulfill the office.
Yeah. And why wouldn't like Giuliani or somebody, advise him? Okay, because I read somewhere, I can't remember who said it, but as far as him resigning, wouldn't that be better for his personality to resign?
I mean, you could try to give him something to say, hey, you're losing all this money on your business deals. If you resign, then you're going to become free and clear. And I mean, they could try to give him a graceful exit, but the problem is that most presidents have a big enough ego to say, no, I like the job and like the perks.
You know, he could always pull a Richard Nixon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like
you
That's
cut a
not-
deal
that's
with
not-
right before it goes down.
Yeah,
you
that's
cut a
true.
deal with your vice president on a quid pro quo, and you get that vice president when they become president to pardon you. Right? That's
Yeah.
I mean that's what Ford did to Nixon, and he lied to. And then he had the audacity to go in front of a congressional committee and lie about that. Right? The guy's.
I got a question.
And
That's okay.
Vince will do that. So.
Landon, I got a question for you, Landon. You've been around a long time because you're really old.
I have the privilege around my age up to 100. So
would you say
unlike
would
other
you?
people.
Because I would say this. Would you say that Trump is the most embarrassing thing that this country's had as far as leadership?
I mean, yeah, you talk about at the presidency. I think that
Yeah.
that the embarrassing stuff is there now. If you if you extend it a little bit farther, you might say that, for example, Dan Quayle,
He was, yeah. But he
as
didn't.
was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, he was.
If you say, well, federal office, then you might say, well, there is, for example, Strom Thurmond.
Well,
Is
yeah.
embarrassing. The man. If there's a hell.
He's in it.
And by the way, I had a really negative interaction with Senator Thurmond. Just as disgusting. He's a disgusting human being. So but the nice thing is he's still dead. That's the wonderful thing about.
But I think
No,
as far as,
so we've had embarrassing. I mean,
but as far as president, yeah.
Okay, as far as president, yeah. I mean, I think some people think that Warren G. Harding was pretty embarrassing, but people say, "Who's that?"
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, I know in my time, and I'm 40. I know in my time that I've never been so embarrassed by my leader that I am him. He's embarrassing. It's a
Yeah.
joke.
It's sort of again, there's a difference. I think there's a difference between you disagree with a person and they're just embarrassing, because I would have to think that there are a number of Republicans sitting thinking, going like,
They got it there.
Really.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of how he acts. I'm ashamed that he's the leader of my country. It's and I was one at the beginning when he won. I said, hey, let's give him this. Don't condemn the man before he has a chance to do it. I was one of them that said that. And
like 3 months later, I was like, fuck it, never mind.
And don't get me wrong, I do think I do think that there's a lot of fake news out against him. I do think that he gets a little attacked sometimes but there's enough bullshit that he's done that it's just it's facts. It's not the fake shit. I'm going after the real shit. He's an embarrassing son of a bitch.
Yeah, and it's always frustrating when people try to make something up to hate him, and I'm like, we got enough real reasons. You don't gotta make shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like a point of that is like when they said he was basically saying all Mexicans were rape evil and stuff like that. No, he wasn't saying that. He was talking about the gangsters coming over here, and that was obvious. He was talking about that what is it, MS-13 or whatever. That's what he was talking about, and it was obvious that. But there is other shit that he said that you could say, look at there how bad he is. You don't, like, as you said, don't have to make it up. It's bad enough. That's like the world. That's like feminists, man. You don't have to make up problems. You got real problems out there. But I don't know. It's just weird, and I truly am embarrassed that he's my president, because I've never seen a president that act I mean, look, don't get me wrong. George W. Bush was a fucking joke, but at least at times he acted presidential.
Yeah, I mean, he had the shtick down.
Yes,
George W. Bush, but you didn't say that he did some things. Separate the stuff that he did you liked from the stuff you didn't like.
Yeah,
you didn't say George W. Bush can't, doesn't understand reality, or he doesn't like make up words and do. Well, I mean, he had his he had his
Yeah.
shit, right?
Slang. He had his slang.
He did actually make up words. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
He did.
But
Like some of the shit he said was just so dumb and funny. Like I love Bushisms. They're so great.
But it was honest dumbness, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
blatant lies like Trump. It wasn't.
If I'm sitting here like I would rather have him. Can we get him back? Right. I'm like, can you again?
And like the thing is, like, yeah, Bush was fucking awful. And he was a fucking idiot. There's one thing that I will, like, one point that I'll give to Bush that I will probably never give to Trump is that Bush was at least like thick-skinned. Yeah. Because Trump can't fucking take a joke. Bush took jokes really well.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. It's like, and Bush would be like, if he given a speech and there was hecklers out there, he didn't stop the speech to call the heckler out like Trump does. Trump calls the hecklers out. That's not presidential, all right? You've got to. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird.
So, but you asked your question. I'm trying to think about why do I distinguish Trump as president from, let's say, George W. Bush as president? Certainly, there was things that W. Bush did that were, presidents do that are embarrassing.
Yeah.
But there's something about, I think it's the fact that Trump lies when he doesn't even have to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's one of the things. I mean, if that person. Yeah, and I think, and I'll have to think about this because if there is, I was disappointed in George W. Bush, but Trump's on a whole another level. Now, to me, Richard Nixon was probably the most embarrassing president in modern times, and I'm just really sad that Ford's pardon stuck with him because I think it was important for him to be forced out of office and then put on trial. I think that the justice. Now, what I would have done is I would have said, "Tricky Dick, you're going to go on trial, and if you're convicted, I'll consider issuing a commute your sentence to time served." Right? I would have left him as a convicted felon rather than letting him go off scot-free. But so in that sense, you could argue that Nixon was worse than Trump. However, I think I've been saying this. I think we do not know just how bad it is in the White House. I think the future us are going to sit there and say, "My goodness, we were all bamboozled by the Twitter stuff and the pee bed and all that weird stuff with porn stars. If we had known, right? I think this president, and it's worse. He's going to be an insufferable former president.
Oh God!
I mean, compare former President Jimmy Carter to the future former president Donald Trump.
It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get more embarrassing. I don't even want to think about what he's gonna say. One of the things you brought up, Twitter. That's one of the things that's really embarrassing to me. As a president, as the leader of our country, I don't want my president to be on Twitter talking smack.
I don't really mind the Twitter thing because like it gives like some air of transparency. Like it's him and these are his words. So I don't really mind.
Well, I do. God damn it. I understand what you're saying. It's just I don't know, dude. I just think that we all know you're a fuck up, but at least act better.
That's true. I am a fuck up.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, wow, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah. But you are a fuck up. Landon, you shut up. You're a woman.
I mean, really, on the other hand, this thing about impeachment, I think I'm probably the only person here who has drafted articles of impeachment, gotten them passed, tried a public official, and found that public official guilty, right?
Yeah.
So I'm actually quite familiar with, and the person who was known as the bitch deserved it. In fact, we found out later what we convicted her on paled to what we actually found out later, right? It was, but still, the bar for removing someone from office has to be extraordinarily high, right? The goat has to lodge a complaint repeatedly, right, for the person to be tossed out, as they say. That's a political code word for, it has to be really bad. So this notion of impeaching George W. Bush or beating Barack Obama or so forth on there, it doesn't rise to that level. Now you might say, well, what about Trump? I think the answer is that you have to have hard evidence. However, if what people are alleging that Mueller has is true, then Trump may have risen to that. And we're not talking about a blowjob, right? We're not talking about that kind of stuff. We're talking about something very serious. Now, the thing, for example, right now that he has, his former attorney who pled guilty and said in court, I did this on behalf of Trump in order to influence the election, right? That's an allegation, right? That doesn't mean that fact has actually been tried. We're going to have to have patience to see if Mueller comes up with things that are impeachable. At that point, you begin to say, you begin to say, if it's true that that's happened, that's where you then start to say, this president needs to be impeached.
Yeah.
But I won't call for be impeached. I won't call for the 25th Amendment. I'm saying, there's stuff that's sounding like this. Can we get actual clarification on is he really that is he really that off his rocker, or is this just stuff? Or is this just stick?
Yeah. Well, moving on from the human Cheeto. Today is National Video Gamers Day. Video Games Day.
Nice.
I'm not a gamer, but I know Red Eye's dick's probably hard when I said that.
I used to be like really heavy into gaming, but I just don't have time for that anymore.
Yeah,
it's called being a student and also helping run an organization and producing content, that sort of thing.
It's quite a bit of work. Yeah. I used to play a lot of League of Legends. Like I still keep up to date with it. Like I watch League videos just to like look at patches and updates and stuff. But I just have not sat down to play it in like a year or something. Like it's been a while.
The person that's fun to watch play games. I hope I'm not embarrassing him. Is Red Eye. Red Eye has an extraordinary amount of experience in games, and as a game connoisseur, right?
And a shithead.
And it's fun to watch him, play because he's developed lots of skills where he's okay. What did you do? What did you do? He is really good at mastering some of those things. So
he's a shithead. He's a true video game shithead. But more power to all the gamers out there, man. They take this shit serious. And I remember when I don't really game. I got a gaming system. I need to get more into it. When I was a kid, I had a Nintendo, and I did like Duck Hunt. That laughing dog was a son of a bitch. But anyways, moving on to Kit Harington. He's an actor, plays Jon Stark on Game of Thrones. He's questioning why LGBTQ Q actors haven't starred in Marvel movies. He goes on to say shit like, why, here it is right here. The Game of Thrones star pointed out the lack of gay actors portraying characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe during a recent interview with Variety. That we can't have someone in a Marvel movie who's gay in real life and plays some superhero. I mean, when is that going to happen? He said. So, what do you think about that? Look, I don't have a problem.
I could complain about the number of astronomers that they have in movies.
Exactly.
When are they going to have it? When are going to have an astronomer? Because we're important too.
Exactly.
And why don't we have more astronomers? You get the point.
Why?
Yeah,
It doesn't. Why? Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't really matter to me all that much if the characters are portrayed well and they can pull you in. That's good. That should be the aim.
My question is, why have we had a fat guy play Wonder Woman yet?
Or me, and like a 4'11" me, yeah.
Yeah. I think we should have fat guys Wonder Woman, though. I really do. I don't have a problem with an gay actor playing the part, but I don't really think it's that important.
I mean, how do they know there hasn't been a gay actor?
Well, true, exactly. They don't know. I'm sure the dude who plays Wolverine sucked a dick or two. But it's just that we gotta have our type of people playing this dude. I hate that. We gotta have black superheroes. I mean, and one thing, by the way, let me make this perfectly fucking clear. Black Panther is not the first black superhero. Blade, motherfuckers. Blade.
Yeah, fucking Blade.
And he was badass.
Oh yeah. He wasn't really a super. Oh, what about? Oh, Spawn wasn't a super, was he? No.
Yeah. Well, it's in that in that vein, like, so yeah, I would say that Blade is a superhero. I mean, he was a fucking badass vampire daywalker black guy. He was pretty badass.
Yeah, he was I think yeah, he was definitely a superhero. Like, I guess under some definitions he'd be like an anti-hero, but definitely I would count him as a superhero.
But I was like, well, we need more of this, we need more of that. Fine, create them.
Yeah.
Write the story. It's that simple.
Like older ones. Just create newer and better ones.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I think Black Panther's not, but I will say this though: Black Panther originally was white. Yeah, the original comic, he was a white guy. That black people still on our fucking shit again. But anyways, I don't care. Honestly, I honestly don't care if a gay actor, but say, well, we need gay actors playing. That would be like Landon said. Well, once you start doing it, sometimes the slippery slope fallacy is a fact, right? Where do we stop? Landon can say, well, skinny, white, nerdy old guys aren't portrayed as superheroes. Why can't we be? It's just weird that they're demanding this kind of stuff. I don't know. That's like when they bitched about what's your name playing the transgender actor.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that was the most ridiculous shit ever. Most ridiculous shit ever.
It's like, first of all, Hollywood doesn't really give a damn. But they know that ScarJo is gonna pull in the tickets.
Exactly, and who would you rather play the part? Someone who's gonna bring a lot of attention to this thing, like Scarlett Johansson will, because she's a fucking famous actress, or some unknown transgender actor?
I mean, from a producer's standpoint,
really good.
And she's a very good actress. Yeah, she's she's a pretty good actress. So, I hate that she backed out of the role, but I understand why she did, because she, recently done the Ghost in the Shell and got a lot of shit because she wasn't Asian. And now she's getting this shit. And so, yeah, she's like, fuck it, I don't want to go through this shit again. It's It's just stupid. And acting is, it's the word acting is portraying something that you're not. You're acting like something. That's what it is. So I don't know. I don't care if a black dude plays Superman. I don't give a shit. Like when I heard some people bitching about the black James Bond coming out. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It doesn't really matter if the actor fits, like, unless for some reason, like, race or unless for some reason race has to do with, like, intrinsically has to do with the character, then it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. But here's the deal: if it's not a real character, a real person, and this has happened, by the way, I want to talk about some. What is the name of that movie? The Rock plays a football coach in a reformatory school. What's the name of that fucking movie? Gridiron Gang. Gridiron Gang. He plays a real guy. The real guy he plays is a white dude, and then a black guy play him. You didn't hear white people raise hell. You didn't hear the white guy raise hell. He was okay with it.
That's because The Rock is fucking awesome.
Well, yeah, The Rock is pretty cool, but it's just, I can see people bitching about it if I'm, but I don't know. It's just weird. But now the transgender person was real too, so there you go. As a real person. But anyways, it's just silly that you're demanding people to do shit that you want because, it doesn't go to your agenda. Fuck your agenda. Take your agenda and shove it up Luna's ass.
No.
That sounds like it would hurt.
Yeah.
Brazil wants to create a safe zone for whales in the South Atlantic. Oh my God. Now whales are feminist. No, I'm joking. I think I support this. The International Whaling Commission has said no to Brazil's proposal, so they turned it down. The Whaling Commission has said no. There's a lot of.
I don't know. I don't know if that was a matter of because there's some things in those commissions. I know commissions where requires unanimous consent, or that it requires a certain percentage level. In the International Whaling Commission, there are countries that say this is our tradition and you have to allow da 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 and they're very defensive of those quote traditional things. And when they say the International Commission said no, was it that the Commission was unable to agree on the language? Was it that it required unanimous consent, or it permitted certain countries, or there was enough countries? I don't know. You'd have to find out what the details are. I mean, it's too bad it didn't happen, but because I don't really respect, for example, the whaling tradition of Japan, and I don't respect the whaling tradition of Norway. But those are examples of two countries that are quite vocal and wanting not for the International Whaling Commission.
That shit in Japan is brutal too, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's you'd have to know why it failed.
Yeah.
I don't think the entire world said, "Oh no, we want to have we want to be able to trigger whales in the South Pacific." I think it's.
Have you heard about? Go ahead.
There's been, for example, also a tension between the Antarctic Treaty and the Whaling Commission. Antarctic Treaty governs everything south of 60 degrees south, and they've been trying to also propose a ban on whaling 60 degrees south. The problem with the Antarctic Treaty is it requires unanimous consent to get something changed. And it's one of the few treaties that, it's not a UN treaty, it's a separate organization. It's one of the few treaties that North America, besides North America, one of the few treaties that the country of North Korea is an active member. And sometimes it's just difficult to get them to respond because, so you've had failings, but Japan is a member, and Norway are members of the Antarctic Treaty, and they will veto attempts to ban whaling in the Antarctic waters.
Okay. Well, this is, have you heard about this SETI, which is Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute? They these researchers discovered 72 signals from a distant galaxy using artificial intelligence.
Yeah, well, actually, those are signals. Those are gamma ray burst things. It's not like they found I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
They used and I wouldn't call it artificial intelligence. They used these machine learning models to detect signals that weren't apparent, from the graph and the data. And there's a certain type of burst that they were looking for. But it was a sort of prototype for saying, can you use some of these machine learning models, these complex networks of weights and triggers and offsets to find a signal there. By the way, SETI is, I don't know if you know Pimpmunk, but SETI is actually within walking distance of my house.
Really?
Right there on the...
Nice.
We drove
Wait a
by.
minute, did you? Yeah, you showed me that stuff. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you showed me that big satellite deal thingy they got out there. Yeah, I remember that. That was cool as fuck.
I might have to go visit.
One of the best trips I ever took in my life was when I went to visit Landon.
Oh, you're very kind.
No, dude, that really was, man. I had one of my bucket list items, something I've been wanting to do since I was a little kid. When I watched Escape from Alcatraz, I always wanted to go to Alcatraz. Well, Landon took me to Alcatraz, and I got to knock out. It was so cool. And
you actually got to meet someone who
I got to meet a former prisoner. Yeah, former prisoner. I could see Landon laugh because I was like a little kid there, man. I really was. I was like, look at there, Landon, look. I was like so fucking enthused, and it was so amazing. It was awesome, and also killed a lifelong theory that I had too, because I always thought they got away. I really did, until I got on the ocean and seen everything and thought about that time and era back then. I don't think they got away. I think they died.
In fact, I didn't know. One of the things I learned this time, because I was as a kid, I've gone and done the tour, but I learned this time that one of the things they did was they made the prisoners have hot showers, right?
Yes, to get where they couldn't get used to the ocean water. Yeah. And
they also heated the place quite a bit, right? It was one thing the prisoners didn't claim was I'm cold. They actually wanted them warm because they didn't want them to get comfortable and acclimate to that brutal water there. And so yes, there are people that swim that thing, but you're talking about elite swimmers,
preparation
and thing, and they have boats on hand because some of them get in trouble and they pull.
They have swimsuits and they have all kind of shit that those people didn't have. But the prison itself is freaking awesome, and there's a lot of stories out of Alcatraz that I did not know about, that I learned about, like the shooting that they had there, and you can still see the bullet holes in the floor and stuff. It was pretty.
Because they actually called in the U.S. Marines.
Yeah.
Who because there was a takeover of a cell block from inside, although the prisoners, because of a couple of things that happened, they couldn't actually get out, and they actually sent in the U.S. Marines.
Yeah, that was pretty.
To throw in grenades and storm the place. It was.
Yeah, it was. And you know what was really crazy is they had this like rack of guns right up there, and they hung the key to where they could see the fucking key. But they hung it so high you couldn't touch it. But it was just tempting the fucking prisoners, like, here, bitch, you can't have this. And it was fucking crazy. My next bucket list item will be done in November, by the way. I'm going to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Yeah, going to Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra. I'm going.
It's going to be fun. I hope you shoot lots of video. It's going to be fun to see.
I will.
I hope you squeal like a
dude, I am going. And once I see Aaron Rodgers run out on the field, I'm probably going to have an orgasm.
Oh my God.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm frozen.
I'm gonna have jizz just froze to my nutsack because that man he amazes me. Whoa, what is that? A weird buzzing noise there. But anyways, yeah, he's so awesome. He is so freaking awesome. What is it? That ain't landing because it's coming from. I don't know where it's coming from. Oh, that was Milwaukee Atheist. His shit's went crazy.
Was it me? I don't know what's up with it.
It's
Might
going
be my
towel. There's something under your towel. A critter has gotten in there and it's.
I think it just might be like my my computer, like it's fucking noises that it's making.
It's that pubic hair you got from on your chin.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
just a little rustle.
Yeah, but anyway, no, it's like a real weird, like, what is that? It's like a.
Yeah, I think it's like you know when your computer heats up like the fan.
Oh yeah,
I think it's
or it's like a ground feedback noise. I want that from electrical.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna be doing that, and I'm definitely gonna be making lots of vlogs and streaming and shit like that. So that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be November 10th to the 12th, and I'm actually gonna meet a couple of people on that trip too. Coming back, I'm gonna be going through Milwaukee, and I'm gonna meet the Milwaukee Atheist right here I'm gonna be there for like 3 hours, and then I'm gonna be in Chicago for 6 hours, and I get to meet Gator Coot.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a fantastic shirt that Landon
and the blowjob.
You know that's negotiable.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're giving me.
I'll give you the rod of God.
I want my mouth hugged.
Yeah. So I say, let me know the cost on there, and of course you guys can ship it to your place so that you can meet and do the photo op.
Well, I'm gonna get him to autograph it too. Maybe
yeah,
a fan.
Can you bring like use a Sharpie or something and have the staff there sign it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You may be a super famous atheist one day, and I'll be a poor starving comedian. And yeah. Anyways, I'm looking forward to the trip though. From now on, when I do take these bus trips, when the long stops, I'm gonna be like tweeting it out and have people come out and meet me, which could be dangerous, but the Luna was one of the first people to do that. She came out and met me in Texas, and yeah, she put her finger in my butt.
What?
She knuckle fucked me.
You're supposed to tell anyone.
So we're 13 minutes from the end of the show. We're gonna go ahead and start taking Q&A. It's been a great show, by the way. Thank you guys. Been a fun show. Make sure you guys share this and stuff. Since I'm back on the second channel, the last 2 days the audience has been good, but not as good as it was going on the main. It was starting to build up pretty good, but people are starting to lose. Like, where the fuck is he? Oh, because I'm back and forth now.
Well, I hope Pimpmunk, that you figure out a way to be more resilient, because this YouTube stuff does not seem like it's going to stop.
No, YouTube's picking on me, man. They put a fucking sign on my back, kick this fat fucker, and they just keep on doing it. And it's look, yeah, I'm a tough dude. I keep on taking it. I'm strong, but it comes to a point where like, fuck. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, it's just like I said, that the guy, this YouTube keeps throwing you over the fence to the pool, and you keep coming back around.
Yeah, I keep
coming back around. Some more.
That happens. That actually happened to me when I was young. Dude kept beating my ass. I kept coming back for more. And but that's what YouTube is doing. But if I quit, I'll never know what happens.
But I hope you can find another way to give out content. But I by the way, I did verify that with somebody else that says if all you do is you put little videos where you say come see alternative channel to see my real content, they flag you because part of the terms of service is you can't use it to advertise exclusively. They say exclusively advertise and promote other venues, right? Obviously, people do that because they say, follow me on this and this and this and this and this. But what they have to do, and Red Eye was saying, what they have to do is you have to add some original content. So my suggestion to you, Pimpmunk, because you're so great at improv and comedy, is if you're going to let's say you're going to open up a show on some alternate channel, right? Or you're going to say, hey, come over and see me on, I don't pick a name like the Twitch or whatever the thing is. You can't just put a YouTube video saying, see me on here. I'm going to, you have to have some original content. So improv, what you do is you go and say, by the way, here's a joke of the day, and you kind of riff off a couple of jokes and say, if you like this kind of content, I'm going to be over on Twitch right now to da-da-da-da, right? That's permitted, right? You just can't put signposts out there. You've got and improv is easy for you, it seems. So just say, okay, you put your content on a different channel that you enjoy, and put notices on YouTube with some stand-up comedy, and say, you like this thing? Come over and see me on this thing right now.
Yes, sir.
That's legitimate content. It's entertaining, and it's not an exclusive signpost. They need to get away with that.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, so there's a link in the description now to anchor.fm/The Morning Wood. If you'd like to hear the audio version only of the shows, that's where you go. The link is in the description. Like if you're exercising, going to work or whatever, there is a link for that now. Soon we'll be on iTunes and shit like that also. So, but yeah, that right there is a link for you to do that. And it's pretty cool, actually. It's the audio version of the show. Also, if you like the show, please consider tipping and becoming a Patreon. We're trying to get to that $1,000 mark, and where we can do the 24-hour show. And yeah, so please consider it. Do it, motherfuckers.
And if you want to see the Mama Pimp interview, there's a fund me thing, or is it a funding, or what is it?
PayPal pool.
A PayPal pool, right?
A PayPal pool. No.
And if you're the top 3 contributors to reach 1,000, then you get to ask Mama Pimp a question.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So what that means is that if you contribute at least $333.34, then you're guaranteed to be in the top 3.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. I'll get the link for you right quick. And it's not in the description. I meant to put it in the description, but it didn't happen. There's the link right there, though, if you want to give to the Mama Pimp interview. Also, if you just want to tip, there's a link in the description. Patreon links in the description. I think Luna shared them.
And by the way, those funds go to Mama Pimp, but they use it, it goes to help feed the family. So
food, rent, bills, yeah, absolutely. Prostitutes for my mom. She has a real problem with midget prostitutes.
Hey, it's not a problem. That's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
I'm waiting for the broom to come over and swat you.
Yeah,
because you know if she was in the room,
she'd hit me.
To say. Yeah,
she'd punch me in my throat, But if you got any questions, please ask right quick. We got 6 minutes left. Please tip. Do it now.
Yeah. And if I offend anybody in the comments, as long as you're not Strom Thurmond or the Pope or the Queen of Elizabeth, I'm sorry. If
they're gonna bring back.
Screw you and the horse you rode in on.
They're bringing back a hybrid zombie of the Queen and the Strom Thurmond, and they're gonna make him the Pope. So Yeah, we're gonna have zombie Thurman Pope. That was a weird name anyway. Strom. That's a weird fucking name. Anyways.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, Luna.
Yeah.
And consider the life of a hypocrite, a avowed segregationist who said vile things about people that didn't look like him, while at the same time, he was banging them and fathering kids and then paying them hush up money to, to keep his little dilly dallies private.
Here's a question for Brian. Is the color of a person's underwear important, and is it an election issue? It is important. It is important. It has to be polka dot underwear, or I'm not voting for you.
I mean, there was
I
a
like
time where
plaid.
people were asking boxers or briefs for men politicians, but is the color of the person's underwear important?
It's gotta be polka dot.
I don't know how. I'm trying to figure out how it would be important.
It's gotta be red and black,
It'd be
just like all
yellow.
good color schemes.
Itty bitty yellow polka dot bikini. Anyways.
I don't think. I mean, I can't. I'm trying to think of a way that it could be an election issue. Because even if, for example, a politician lies about the color of their underwear, who cares? So
I care.
that'd be really hard. Now, of course, you notice Brian. Notice how he spelled color, right? He used the English spelling. It is the English language, so
Like a faggot.
COLOUR, right? That's kind of the thing.
You
So
spelled it like
that
a
might be
fag.
that if an American politician were to spell using the English spelling as opposed to the American spelling, that might be an election issue.
Maybe. It could be. I think it should be an election issue. And I think spelling color that way is a faggot move. Yeah. It's gay, Brian.
But is it so Brian is there was that just a J random question, Brian J 1962, or is there some news event where the color of underwear is a thing? Is there something like some House of Lords or something like that we learned about the color and there's this?
You ever had to
Enlighten
piss
us.
so bad your eyes start watering?
No,
My eyes,
not once.
my eyes are urinating right now.
Oh.
It's like, you ever see the cartoons where the eyes float, little
Yeah.
goldfish go by? That's where I am right now. I am completely full of piss.
I'm intrigued. Are there some politicians that are talking about the color of their underwear?
You have a closer relationship with the French historically than we do, though. That's true.
Now, Brian, across the channel, the Normans and so forth. I mean, you guys have. I mean, you're actually practically cousins, right? Across the channel, right? There's a lot of back and forth, and particularly your monarchy has also had quite a close relationship there.
So
But,
is it piss on webcam? No.
and in fact, I think that's one of the reasons why you fight so much across the channel. I mean,
'Cause they're
even
assholes.
in peacetime, I remember that when I was with, if I thought about in terms of insults. I'm sure Americans, they weren't insulting Americans because I was an American, but the highest insults were directed to the British, and second were the Germans, and the third were the Belgians. I mean,
Fucking
I'm talking about pretty bad French insults.
This fuck your mother.
I'm sure the Americans are somewhere in that list too. They just were because I was American. They didn't do it to me, but But yeah, I mean, they were ragging on, and I brought over some people, from the UK and delegations, and they were insulting them right and left. I mean, you have this love-hate relationship across the channel.
Yeah. I understand. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate it. It was an awesome show.
It's always good to be on the show with Luna. Hear her laugh.
Yeah, Luna's awesome.
And by the way, subscribe to besides tipping and so forth, subscribe to Milwaukee Atheists.
No, don't subscribe me. I'm gonna prove.
I don't know if you want to.
I'm doing what Luna's doing. I'm showing my shoulder like Luna is.
I think
that white glow.
I'm being sexy.
I think Luna is pulling it off better.
Man, fuck you, I am.
And then the camera is like, experiencing whiteout.
Yeah.
I mean, really, literally, it's like saturating the camera in the whiteness.
Sexy. I'm sexy.
I'm fine. I can't.
Well, Luna gets lost in the dark and shit. And I burn your eyes from brightness. So there we go.
But anyway, so the Milwaukee, they do a lot of interesting scholarship on religion. They have a Sunday school where they go and read the Bible, and they're reading it from cover to cover, and they talk about and discuss things. So it's interesting from a skeptic's point of view.
Yeah, well,
I think Pimp should come on the show.
Yeah,
I will, but we're ending this fit right now.
Yeah.
I gotta pee really bad. Now, I will come on your show, man. Sure will. We'll talk about it.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being on. Appreciate all the support, guys, and keep up the wood. See you later.